Ever since I was 8 years old, I've been a lifelong Michael Myers fan, ever since I saw The Curse of Michael. So naturally, when you ask me, who's better, Jason or Michael, I'm always going to side with Michael. I never sat back and watched the full Friday the 13th franchise, just part 1 and 2 and bits of others. But I have watched the whole franchise in the past 2 days. And now I'm going to rank the movies on which I think are good. Now, we're not going to compare Michael to Jason just right away. We're just going to see how the movies rank up against each other, right? However, I will not be putting up my Halloween movie ranking with this video. It would just be a Friday the 13th movie ranking. Now, if you're interested in the Halloween movie ranking, that's already been done. You go back and check it. And I was ruthless with Michael. And because I was ruthless on the Halloween franchise, I will be non-biased and be ruthless with this. I promise. We have the tier list. We have Crystal Lake Legend. That's number 1, right? This is a movie that I will watch again. I enjoyed this movie. It wasn't bad. Then we got Voorhees Worthy. Now, this movie can hit or miss. You know, I would recommend it to someone who is not a Jason fan. Hey, check out this movie. All right, it's a decent one in their franchise. Now, we have Camp Blood. This one was not bad. It wasn't good. It was okay. It was what it was. It is what it is. Then we got Forest Green. Now, this is for the ridiculous ones, right? And seems how there's one movie that this is the new Crystal Lake name. It's Forest Green. Kind of ridiculous. It only happened in one movie. So we got it in a ridiculous column. Then we got Drown It. These are the movies that should never happen. I don't know why they happened, and I don't know who likes these movies. Guaranteed they're bad. So with that being said, we'll start off with the ranking. First, we got Jason X. This one, Jason goes to space. Kind of weird. Like, of all the things these guys could have came to Earth and wanted to grab, they chose Jason Voorhees. It's kind of freaking weird, right? The movie, all in all, is a typical Jason movie. Other than camp, he's in space. He's in space killing these people for no absolute reason, and no absolute reason why he's even aboard this ship. And of course, the ship doesn't make it. I do, however, like the suit. I like the new look to him. Kane Hodder does a great job in it. However, is it good? I don't think so. I think it's a typical movie, but it's okay, right? We're going to put it in Camp Blood. Camp Blood it goes. Simply because it's not bad, it's not good. It's just a typical brain rot Jason movie, right? Just, he goes to kill someone. There are cool scenes in there. Like the fact that he gets that nano suit, whatever you want to call it. There's weird scenes too, like the guy, a robot. Just, wow. Okay, we're going to move on from that. On that note, why they tried to do a 3D movie when they are a low budget film is beyond me. It looks stupid. Okay, so here we go with part 3. Friday the 13th, part 3. Now, this movie is where Jason gets his mask. It's also a weird movie in a way. As I've noticed, and I took note, twice, 2 people took a shit, didn't wipe their ass, didn't wipe their hands. Now, I've noticed as I kept on watching the Friday the 13th franchise, this is a common factor. This shit's common. It's weird. It's weird that these guys don't wipe their ass or wash their hands. However, I'm not going to harbor on that, Harold. It wasn't bad. We had Shelley. I liked Shelley in it. I felt bad for Shelley. That he hated himself so much that he thought everybody else would hate him, right? Nah, dude, you were just weird. Right? Let's talk about the bikers in this movie. They made absolutely no sense. They played no role in an outcome or anything in this movie for them to even be in it. I think it was just character fill because they needed to cut at least 15 minutes of the movie and fill it with some shit, and that's the shit they chose to fill it with. It would, however, be a lot different if the guy at the end would have actually did something to Jason. But no, as soon as he pops out of the closet in the barn, he's dead. It's worthless. Was it a good movie, though? Jason did have kills, but again, we don't have a story in it. I felt that it was kind of weird that there was a 30-year-old man waiting on this supposed to be 18, 19-year-old girl, and the first thing you want to do is flip fuck. I thought that was pretty weird. It's ridiculous. Put it in forest green. It's ridiculous. And I know right off the bat, everybody thinks I'm being biased again. I'm being unfair. I am not. I promise you that. Things start to change soon. Next, we have Friday the 13th Part 2. Hillbilly Jason, Sackhead Jason. Is this a good movie? In my opinion, no, it's not. Okay, the fact that it was made a year after the first Friday the 13th, all of a sudden Jason's 30 years old, we assume that he's just been living in the woods this entire time, right? As a hillbilly. He's got a sack on his head with one eye hole. That's not a very scary costume. It wouldn't terrify me. I think, honestly, if I was out there, I would slap the fuck out of Jason. The fact that he is stopped at the end of the movie by someone putting on a mommy sweater kind of seals that fact for me. The only one good thing I can say about this movie is what everybody else says. It's got the wheelchair kill. Oh my God, he rolled down the flight of stairs. Simple-minded. Wasn't good kill. The fact that it took him forever with the knife to kill that one girl, trust me, hun, you are not going to be the next Scream Queen. We don't need you screaming for a whole fucking minute while a knife's pointed at you. At most, you're probably going to advance to adult film star. But yeah, this wasn't it, bro. If anybody's ever called Jason a mama's boy, this movie would definitely back that up. Okay, we're moving on. Friday the 13th Part 1. This is where it's solid for the franchise. Okay? I'm going to say it. It's solid, dude. If they would have just left this movie as is and not created a sequel off it, you would have had a great movie, bro. It was already low budget. Most of Jason films are. And a lot of them have bad stories. However, this one has a good story to it, right? Because they obviously had time to think of the story before they started the movie. Where the other ones, they just made movie after movie after movie within a year or two of each other. So the storyline is non-existent. This one's with Pamela Voorhees, so you don't see Jason at all. She comes to wreak revenge for her son drowning, right? Because the counselors weren't paying attention at all to him. And he couldn't swim. However, she dies, right? But I do like that the movie was a mystery. It was a twist. It didn't show who the killer was until the final, ending as far as last 20 minutes of the film. It's weird to think that this little old lady was taking out people, and she was. She was doing a great job of it. I enjoyed the story. It had a meaning for the movie. There was a plot. There was a middle. There was an ending. It was just perfect as far as storytelling, dude. I'm going to put it up at Voorhees worthy. I'm not going to rewatch this movie, dude, and I'm going to tell you why. Simply the low budget look of the film. It's all grainy and stuff. How is this movie all grainy when we just had Halloween 78 prior to the making of this film, and that movie wasn't as grainy as this? They could have done better, and I know it's just a budget reason, but because of that, I don't want to watch it no more. Okay, next we have Friday the 13th, New Blood. This one is okay. It's okay. I'm going to be honest. We have Tommy coming back for this one, right? I want to say it's Tommy coming back for this one, and Tommy's going into a place where he can learn to be in civilization again, right? He's been institutionalized for a long time. This is his place to finally learn how to be in the real world. I like that they brought Tommy back into this movie. They are actually starting to put a story together. Finally, it's just not some maniac running in the woods. However, it has its flaws, dude. It has its flaws. The killer's not Jason. The killer's a paramedic named Roy, right, who's getting revenge for his son being killed. Why didn't you just make it like Friday the 13th, part 1? Why did you put a Jason costume on Roy? You could just had people dying all around, had the main antagonist never show itself, and then right there at the end, you find out it's a fucking paramedic. Had a good story. But no, you wanted it to be Jason. It's weird. It's weird. However, like I said, I like that they were continuing the story, right? Here we are. We have Tommy out of the institution, and Tommy's been practicing karate, dude. He beat the hell out of that dude that was poking him in the chest. Forgot his name. It wasn't important. Yeah, rightfully so, because he was touching Tommy's shit. Beat his ass. Then he beat the redneck on the dirt bike. I enjoyed that, you know, the little mama's boy there. Boy, him and Jason got something in common. I'm guessing that's why they didn't put Jason in this, because you can't have two primarily mama boys in the movie. But yeah, he rode around that house for 3 minutes. 3 minutes, screaming and crying. They hurt me. I just couldn't wait for him to die, right? And once again, an issue with the story. The mother and that son absolutely had nothing to do with this movie as far as an outcome or anything. It's almost like Indiana Jones in that one movie, Coven of Art, right? With or without Indy, they get it and they die. Same thing here. With or without these people, they don't matter in the movie. It's just bodies. We have Damon taking a shit and not wiping his ass. What is up with that, dude? We gotta stop that, right? Do I say this is a good movie? I don't think it was horrible, right? There's parts in it that aggravated me, and there's parts in it that I was okay with. So I'm gonna put it at Camp Blood, right? So it wasn't too bad, dude. They could have done better with the story. I understand it, and I'm glad they're putting together a story, but they didn't have to dress Roy up as Jason. That's all I'm saying. And for the ones like, oh, I knew it was Roy the whole time. I didn't know it was Roy till about last 20 minutes of the movie. But anyway, we're going to move on. Jason Goes to Hell. I'm going to be honest, I did not watch this movie because I already paid Paramount to watch every single one of these other ones, aside for like 2 of them. And by the time I got to 7 and 8, I was over them, bro. I was over them. I spent 2 days watching these movies. It is brain rot, dude. So when naturally I seen it cost $4 to watch this one, I was not about to spend my money on another bad movie. And I pretty much asked around to people who have seen this movie if they thought it was good, and all of them just said the same thing. To them, it was the worst movie in the entire franchise. Now, I couldn't believe that, because I have a couple of them that might be the worst movie in the entire franchise, for the fact that they said this one was. Ooh, it really blew my mind, and I definitely wasn't going to spend the money to watch it, or my time. So we're just going to put it in Drown It. And I'm only putting it in Drown It because that was the take from actual Friday the 13th fans telling me that. And if your own fan base is telling you that that movie is bad, I'm going to take their word. Trust me, be glad I didn't see it, because I'd probably rip this one a new one. If it was that bad, their fan base don't like it, I would have definitely destroyed it. Moving on, 2009 remake of Jason. Wow. Dude, take me on a ride. This one didn't have a plot, but I tell you what, I was locked in. I like that they kind of removed the whole mommy factor in this remake. I like that they got Derek Mears, this big Jason. I'm pretty sure that is because of 2007's Rob Zombie's Halloween remake. They found Tyler Mane, who is big and hulking, and they wanted to do Jason that way. Why not? It worked, man. It worked. I did enjoy that sackhead Jason for some reason. I don't know why. I guess it's because he was about that action real quick. He didn't hold a knife in front of someone while they screamed the entire time. He quickly found a hockey mask. Now, the whole lovey-dovey story in it, I could do without, right? I don't know what it is about cheesy 2000s and 90s films where they're always a lovey-dovey story in a horror film. We don't want to see that. But honestly, I enjoyed it. Y'all dropped the ball though, because there's no remake. There's no part 2 to this. Dude, this was amazing. You should have kept it going, but you fucked it up, dude. There should have been a part 2, 100%. I enjoyed this movie. Y'all need to figure it out. The sad thing is, it's been, 15, 16 years since this movie came out. So even if you release a part 2, it's not going to really go good. Please don't do it now, because it's probably not going to be good. Next is Freddy versus Jason. Now, this is a treat for me. I was 12 years old. I believe I was 12 when this came out. I was around that time. And I was rooting for Freddy, right? I always hated Jason. So, to me, Jason's a mommy's boy. I'm not rooting for him. Freddy, once again in this movie, proved what we all knew. Jason's a mommy's boy, dude. He played mommy to get Jason to go down the street, kill people, to try to... We're back off. We're not talking about Freddy. We'll save that part of the review for the Freddy reviews. Talking about Jason here. He went to Elm Street, really did his thing, man. I'm not even gonna lie, man. He put that guy in the bed and squashed him. I loved how he went to the party and got a hold of some moonshine and caught on fire. And, the flaming machete throw was freaking awesome, dude. I really enjoyed that. I mean, there was some parts in here that showed Jason wasn't ready for the task. He needed help from the other people in the movie to get Freddy into the level so it could be even fight for him, I guess. But honestly, it was a great movie, man. I enjoyed it, and it's one that I enjoy around Halloween time, and I will put that into a watch again. It was a good movie. I will advocate for it. I don't really need to say a lot about that movie. It is what it is. And for you guys saying that Jason won, no, Jason didn't win, because Freddy's still alive. He went to Dream World, bro. Neither one of those dudes were going to lose. It was just a fun idea, right? All right, moving on. We got Jason Lives. Now, hands down, bro, we continuing the story. We are continuing the story. I see one movie that's not in here, but I'll just go ahead and throw it into my ranking as well at the end. I don't know why that movie's not in here, but it is what it is. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's not in here. Yep. Alright, so Jason Lives. I loved it. They brought Tommy back as the main character. He spends most of his time in jail or in the car. It is what it is. He went to go dig up Jason Voorhees because he wanted closure to his story. He should have just let that alone, dude. The dude was clearly dead for like 15 years. He put a lightning rod in Jason and brought Jason back to life. What a horrible idea, Tommy. It ended up being pretty good. This is a decent movie, though. However, I did like this Jason character, right? I think the guy that played him, I don't even know who he is, so I'm not even going to say his name because I don't want to butcher it. I think he played Jason very well, and I know he gets a lot of flack because of the whole tool belt. He's got the Bob the Builder look out there in the woods. However, I can honestly say from part 1 to part 6, this is the movie that I actually started enjoying watching, right? It got my attention. It seemed very fast-paced. It seemed like a lot was going on. I enjoyed this movie. It was pretty good. Did it have its flaws? Of course it did. All movies have its flaws, right? But the girl being so quick to jump on the jailbird's wiener is just a weird one. The sheriff wouldn't listen to him. Even though seeing some proof, the sheriff wouldn't pay attention. The fact that the gravedigger didn't let the sheriff know, yeah, I had to bury him back, is just retarded. This is where the reference to Forest Green was made in this movie. I do like the fact that they had little campers at the campsite, and the little girl was seeing them nonstop. However, I wondered what he would have done in that one scene if he didn't get distracted. Would he have killed the girl? Would he have broke the golden rule? Where you don't kill the kids in these movies. I don't know. This movie proved to me that Jason's willing to go back in the water. I really don't know where to put this movie. But like I said, this was probably the one that I would prefer people to watch that is not a Jason fan like I am. Hey, go check this movie out because it's actually pretty good in their franchise. Next, we got Friday the 13th chapter, the final chapter. This is part 4. This is where we first meet Tommy, Corey Feldman's character. This is where it gets a little shaky. Really does. There's not a lot of backstory to this movie or these characters. It's kind of weird that these two girls just meet this group of kids and all of a sudden ready to get naked in front of them. That's not real life, bro. Ted, very weird, you know, rightfully so, getting people to try to kiss a teddy bear and then sit back and watch vintage porn laughing the whole time. Like, dude, come on. The cheesy ass character, bro. The fact that Corey Feldman's sister jumps all over this random hitchhiker's knapsack there, who's carrying a gun, who's tenting in the woods, who's, I'm on the chase for my sister, but you only heard that one time. The kills were good, but it just wasn't a good movie. Really wasn't. And then I got really confused there at the end where she's getting attacked by Jason and Tommy's upstairs shaving his head. Like, what the hell is going on? And then, of course, you come to find out about 10 minutes later that, oh, he's pretending to be Jason's mother, which came out of left field. Yeah, he's a monster enthusiast, but nowhere in this movie did it ever show that Tommy has any idea of Jason's backstory or lore. So for him to actually know that's kind of wild to me. I think it's thrown in there. Send that to Forest Green. Now, we got Jason Takes Manhattan. I was confused. Are these college kids? Are these high school kids? If so, then if they're high school kids, then what that lady doing drinking? Right? The champagne bottle trying to fuck her teacher. Weird, bro. Even though I know there's some of y'all out there. You know who you are. Weird. The uncle kind of traumatized his niece, threw her off a boat. And then she gets on the boat. Imagine that. There's not a lot I can say about this movie. The kills were hidden. You know he's clearly killing somebody, but he never shows it. Never shows it in this movie. The fact that he stayed slimy and wet the whole time remind me of the Muciness monster. I don't really like that outfit. It's Kane Hodder, and Kane Hodder did what Kane Hodder does, right? And it looks good. This movie was bad, bro. Bad story. Bad everything. All of a sudden, we're supposed to just feel for these groups of kids going to New York for some reason. The boxing scene was horrible. We're going to put it there. The boxing scene was horrible. You're supposed to be a boxer, but you went a solid minute and then you were winded, bro. Come on. They said you were the greatest ever. You went one solid minute. Unlike any boxer ever, because it's more to be on defense than offense all the time. And you got your head knocked off for it. So it is what it is. You're going to go down there to drown it, dude. That was a bad movie. It really was. And the fact that Jason gets killed by literal shit at the end. It's toxic waste, right? Yeah, that's going to go to drowning. Now, the other movie that's not on this tier list, and I wished I would have saw it when I was looking, is... It's number 8, right? It's part 8, and it is called The New Blood, right? Oh, wait a minute. I thought that said New Beginning. But anyway, switch it. That one I put right there would be New Beginning. That is New Beginning. We're missing New Blood on this. So New Blood for me is going to go into Drowning, right? It's the first movie with Kane Hodder, and I'm not going to knock Kane Hodder's performance. He did a great job as Jason. I love the costume get up, but we're not ranking costumes. We're ranking the movies. The fact that they brought in telekinesis into the movie is absolutely ridiculous. And what's wrong with the dude, man? His girl's clearly a nut job, and he's all over her from day one. She's annoying, dude. Mother! You know, she's very annoying in this movie. There's a few annoying spots, actually, in this movie. the fact that it was telekinesis really threw it off the hinge, and the doctor's obviously trying to weaponize her for some reason for that, obviously military. So the story wasn't good, the plot wasn't good, the twist wasn't good, right? It was just a bad movie. Yep, it was just a bad movie. I couldn't get past that telekinesis. Great battle at the end, and it was half-assed, let's be honest. So that's my movie ranking. I hope you enjoyed it. It was fun watching all these movies, but really they're just brain rot movies. If you're into just boobs and killing, this is the movie for you. But if you need story, mystery, twist, there's only a couple of them. Really, it wasn't that much. It wasn't that abundant. So, yeah. But anyway, leave a comment below. Tell me how you rank these movies. Tell me if you think I'm wrong on one of them or two of them. And like always, like, subscribe, and follow, and leave a comment. Till next time, I appreciate it.
Ho, ho, ho.
Green Giant.